friends, welcome back to my channel. I have a big video for y'all today. I'm going to be updating y'all on how I did in week 3 of December, walking y'all through what I spent on my trip that I just took and whether I stayed in budget or not. And I'm also going to break down the 4th week of December budget for y'all, stuff my envelopes and my sinking funds, and give y'all a little taste of what is to come from me in 2021. So if all of that interests you, stay tuned. Okay, y'all, I want to start by talking about how week 3 went and how my trip went. So I'm going to move my sinking funds binder to the side for now and start by just giving y'all a full update. First of all, this is all the change that I have left, which is a good chunk. So I'm going to start just by putting this in my change jar. Here's what we have so far. I'm not going to cash this in until it's full. Okay, so I want to start by giving y'all an update on week 3. So last video we went through and actually broke down the numbers and stuffed on my envelopes and all of that good jazz. And I had a really big cash envelope stuffing. There's been so many views on that video, so thank y'all for that. And my subscriber count jumped by like 100. So if y'all are new, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. For the people who have been here from the beginning, welcome back. Thank you for sticking with me. But that was a really exciting video for me, and it was just really fun to film and share with y'all. So now I want to share how I did. So we'll start by just like a general update. Let me zoom y'all in. So to start, we had groceries. I budgeted $50 and I did spend all 50 of that. I'm gonna grab my envelopes out of my wallet. Okay, so in groceries, we did deposit $50 and I ended up just transferring that money to my trip money, and I just used it all for my trip money and had it all come out of the same pot. So I did that for eating out and flex funds as well. So we're just gonna kind of ignore the categories and just talk about my trip as a whole. Oops. So this is how I went through and did it. I had a tracker for the trip and I deposited my $50 from groceries, my $25 from eating out, and my $60 from flex funds. So those are all on that tracker. And then I also had $200 worth of special expenses, and I also deposited that into my trip money because it was for that trip. And then I ended up also depositing the $55 I had left for the month in gas because I am going home this weekend for the holidays, and so I'm not going to be driving there, so I don't really need that gas money. So in total, I had $390 to spend on my trip that I took. And I'll talk y'all through how I spent all of that. But basically, I started by working through my cash envelope categories, and then I dipped into the special expenses and then paid for gas out of gas. And then you'll see what happened with the rest of that money. But basically, I just kept track of all the expenses I had. So between grocery stops, gas, more grocery, getting wine, having lunches, things like that, buying gifts. There's more expenses on the back here. But basically, I ended up going in the negative by $79. And if y'all follow me on Instagram, I posted something a couple days ago being like, oh my gosh, I might be under budget. And then I found like the perfect store for some gifts for people. And I ended up finding some things that I've been wanting that I just went ahead and purchased. Also, sorry about the Band-Aids. I have been crafting and I hurt myself a couple times. So excuse the Band-Aids, but so this really put me over the edge, this $58 that I spent on gifts. But other than that, I did pretty okay. I would have only gone over by maybe like $10 or $12. So what I decided to do is I did get my second paycheck for tutoring for the month of December, and it was quite a lot. So I ended up just covering the overage with that money. And so I did zero out my trip budget. So all in all, I want to run through what I spent money on with y'all. And then I'm going to leave this in my binder so I know how much everything cost me for future trips. So the first expense I had was the Airbnb, which we prepaid for. And honestly, I don't remember how much it was because we paid for it so long ago. So I'll have to go back and check that. But I want to say it was around like $500 because it was a fairly long trip. It was 5 nights. So it was around 500, maybe a little less. And then, so I'm not really counting that because I paid for that earlier. And then the next thing I'll do is food because that's quite a lot. So let me add up what I spent on food. So I spent $177 on food, which I did split with my boyfriend. So it was probably like double that. We don't split everything 50-50. It was just like if you buy the groceries, I'll get the wine, things like that. So some of my numbers might be a little off because of that. Speaking of which, I did end up picking up more of the tabs for the alcohol. So we bought some craft beer, some wine from local breweries and things. So I'll add up that to see what my total is for that. So I spent $113 on alcohol between beer and wine and different things like that. And then let's see, gas, I only had one charge because we only had to fill up twice, and he has a really fuel efficient car, so I only spent $17 on gas. And then let's do shopping. I spent $123 on shopping. And then the last thing I spent money on, I'll just say snacks. And that was $43. So that was just for like ice cream or coffee or gas station snacks. And then the last thing I'll do is miscellaneous. So like parking, any other things that pop up on here, which I think is just $6. So let me add this up. The total I spent should be the $50 for groceries, $25 for eating out, $60 for flex, the $200 I budgeted, the $55 for gas, and this $79 that I added in for tutoring. So it should have been $469. So let's see if all this adds up to $469. So it's $479. So I bet I double counted for something. So let me double check. Okay, I know what I did wrong. I forgot that I deposited the groceries, eating out, flex funds, special expenses, and gas categories. And I also deposited an extra $10 because one of the rewards apps that I use where you like take surveys to get gift cards, I did cash out a $10 direct deposit. So I put that towards the trip. So really I spent $479 because I spent those $10. Okay. So in total, I spent $479. I budgeted $390. I guess I budgeted $400 because I got that extra $10. So I was only off by the $79, which is really good for me if I'm being honest, even though I was over budget. But I think I felt less pressure because I got my tutoring paycheck while I was on the trip. So probably not the best, but still I used to go over budget on trips by like hundreds of dollars. So this is really not bad for me. So I spent the majority of my money on food, followed by shopping and then alcohol, which makes sense because that was most of our entertainment, because where we went has a lot of craft beer, and that was kind of why we went. And then 9% on snacks, 4% on gas, and 1% on other miscellaneous things. So that is basically the breakdown of my anniversary trip, which you'll see now down here. I spent the full $50 of grocery, $25 of eating out, the full $60 of flex funds, the full $200 of special expenses, and then $79 of that is unbudgeted, which I'm pulling from my tutoring paycheck, and my full expenses for gas for the month, which is kind of a problem because there's still time left in the month, but I'll explain that as we budget for week 4. But like I said, I am going home for the holidays, so I won't be driving much, but I want to have money here to be able to contribute towards gas. So all of that. And then I did have the extra $110 for my tutoring money that I planned to put towards debt, and I did put all of that towards debt last week. So that is all good and done. So week 3 is totally closed out. I was not under budget, but I did not spend money that I didn't have. And so for me, that is a win. Nothing went on the credit card. No new debt was created. Those are all positive things for me. So let's move on to week 4. So for week 4, we are going to be budgeting $40 for eating out and $40 for flex funds. You'll see I don't have a category for groceries, and that's because I'm going home to visit my parents. They don't usually let us pay for groceries and things, so I'm putting more money into other categories so I can pay for other things that we do together as a family. And then I am stuffing my sinking funds per usual. The only ones I'm not stuffing are Christmas, because I'm done Christmas shopping, and I stuffed that one early at the beginning of the month, and then car maintenance because I had to stuff that one earlier in the month as well. So those are getting its usual dollar amounts. And then I am putting $50 towards my minimum payment on my Bank of America credit card, an extra $64 that I had already pre-planned for extra debt payments. And then I'm going to be putting extra money towards my card for my second tutoring paycheck, which I discussed part of that covering expenses for my trip. So now I want to show what I'm doing with the rest of the money I got from that paycheck. So we'll jump and do that first. So the paycheck number 2 was $235. And so with that money, I'm not paying for any sinking funds or any bills. So what we're going to do first is my envelopes. So I went back through my budget to make sure everything was all accounted for, and I had $59 worth of things that I could not figure out how I was supposed to pay for those. I think it was through my Christmas fund, but I got off in my Christmas fund in tracking it. So it was $59 that I just needed to, I want to make sure I have that money in my account. And then if the numbers end up working out and I don't need the $59, then I'll transfer it later to my debt. But I'm just going to keep that in my account to make sure I don't go negative at the end of the month. And then that $79 I am putting towards my anniversary trip because of overspending. And then I want to replenish my gas fund with $30, just like a tank of gas for when I'm home. So with all of that, that's going to be $168 of the paycheck of the $235. So that will leave me with $67, and that is what I'm going to put towards my credit card for extra debt payments. So usually my goal was to do 70% of my tutoring paychecks towards debt, but because of this spending, I have to kind of adjust it. So $67 out of $235 is going to be almost 30% of my tutoring. So I guess for this paycheck, I'm just flipping it. 70% is going towards spending and 30% is going towards debt, which is fine. It's not what I wanted, but it's also the end of the year, and I don't want to start off the year poorly in 2021. So I think I just need to do this for now. And if I have extra money in my account at the end of the month, I'll transfer more to debt. So for the 4th week, I also budgeted $67 of extra money to go towards debt because of the tutoring paycheck that I have. So I will be stuffing $169 of real money and plus $50 for my minimum payment, $64 for extra, and $67 for tutoring. So in total, I'm stuffing $350 today, and we will get to stuffing right now. Okay, so I pulled out the cash, and now I want to start just by counting it to make sure we have $350, which is what we're stuffing today. So we have 50, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300, 310, 320, 325, 330, 335, 340, 342, 4, 6, 347, 8, 9, and 350. So we have 350 here, and so I'm just going to lay out this cash and we'll start stuffing. All right, so for week 4, we are not stuffing groceries. So putting that to the side. Also, this is the last week that I will be using these envelopes, so stay tuned in future videos to see my new setup for 2021. I am so excited about it. I'm still finishing up my envelopes and my funds, so more is to come on that, but just wanted to give y'all a little sneak preview that new things are happening. Okay, so we'll start with eating out. And eating out, we are going to be putting in $40, and I did this in 220s, so 20, 40. This is just for if I see friends while I'm home or if my family gets takeout, things like that. So eating out has 40, and then my flex funds is also going to get $40, and I'm also doing that in 220s. So 20, 40. And that is going to be it for my wallet. So put these in there. Now we're all stuffed. And so now we will jump to my sinking funds. Question for y'all who watch these. Do you like it better when people stuff their sinking funds this way and flip like that? Or do you like it better when they set them up this way and they flip like this? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna try this because I usually do it the other way. So Christmas is not getting stuffed and it has nothing left in it. Auto Care is not getting stuffed and it has $3 in it. So the first one that is getting stuffed is my vacation fund. And right now it should have 220 in it, and we are adding 50, so it should have 270 in it. So let's count it and see. 100, 150, 200, 250, and 270. So that's great. I'll be using this for technically the first week of January's paycheck, but I get paid for January before Christmas because my place of work shuts down like after Christmas until after the new year, so we get paid early. So the vacation money I'm saving for is basically the things that I'm doing at home after Christmas until New Year's. So I will be using this money after Christmas at the end of December, which I'm not telling y'all kind of what I'm doing with that money yet, just because that's technically part of January, but I will be using this money for that time period. So end of this month going into January is what I was saving this 250. I was aimed to save 250, but I have 270 because of my extra stuffing last week. So, but yeah, I'll be sure to update y'all on how that spending goes and what it looks like in my January videos. So next up is medical, and medical is just getting $5, and it should have 115 after I add the $5. So we have 100, 110, and 115. And this envelope is for any copays I have, future contacts that I need to order, all of that good stuff. Gifts is getting $1 from this, and it's a really gross dollar. So with this $1, I should have $39. So 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. And if you watched my last video, it was driving me crazy that I wasn't going to have an even number going into January. So I decided I have this envelope back here for any cash to put towards debt. And I, for the longest time, have only had $1 of cash to put towards my debt. If I could get it out. Here it is. And I just don't, it's not worth it to transfer this to put it onto my debt for $1, you know, like I can transfer $1 at any time from my bank account. So instead of leaving this $1 in that envelope, I'm just going to add it to gifts to get me to 40. So now I should have 40, 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. So that is just how I'm doing that because it was really bothering me that it was almost $40, but not quite. And now household is next, and that is getting $5 as well. So now we should be at 80. So we have 50, 70, 75, and 80 in household, which is really, really great. And then personal care is getting $10 today. So that should mean it has 145. So now we have 100, 120, 130, 140, 145. So 145 in that one. And then weddings is also getting 10. And so it should have 160. So 150, 100, 150, 160 in weddings. Not my wedding, by the way, if you're new here. This is for friends' weddings in 2021. My 1 week ahead fund is only getting $1. So this is to get 1 week ahead on bills or a bill. So right now we have $10, $11, $12, $13 in here. And not really sure which bill I'm going for. I think I'm aiming for groceries, which I mentioned last time. So I'm going to try and get $50 in there. And then my yearly subscriptions envelope is just also getting $1, and it has $10, $11, $12, $13 also. And I believe Netflix, my family and I split Netflix, so we don't pay that much per year because we split it 5 ways. So that I probably owe my mom that soon. This is my side hustle envelope, which is getting $5. And so now this should have 37, and we have 20, 30, 35, 36, and $37 in this one, which is great. And then savings challenges, this is also only getting $1, and it should also have 13, 10, 11, 12, 13. So those are all my sinking funds, and now I'm going to stuff my debt envelopes. So, which really just the one, because I'm putting all of this money towards my Bank of America card. So the first thing I'm stuffing is my minimum payment, which is $50. The next thing I'm stuffing is my extra debt payment that I had planned, which is $64. So 50, 60, 62, and 64. And then the last thing I'm stuffing is that extra tutoring money, which is 67. So 50, 60, 65, and 67. So if I organize all of this and put it into what the rest of the money that I've paid towards my debt this month, I should have a good chunk of change in here. So I should have $579. So let's count. We have 100, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65. So 565, 567, 569, 571, 573, 575, 577, 579. Whew. So $579 by the end of the month. I will have put that almost $600 extra debt payments towards my Bank of America credit card, which is so awesome. And I cannot wait to give y'all a debt update video at the end of the month to let you know what my new debt numbers look like. So that video will be coming in early January to give you an update on that. My Citi Bank of America, my Citi credit card is not getting any money because I already paid the minimum payment on it. This envelope is now empty because I took that $1 out and gave it to gifts, which I don't feel bad about because it was $1. And then this envelope is for my total debt paid so far that I'm not stuffing until I'll only move money to that at the end of the month. Okay, y'all, so that is it. My sinking funds are looking really thick. This is actually going to be the last video where you see this setup for now, because I am going to be switching into a new system that will allow for some new and different sinking funds next year and just give me some more space to stuff things and not have to consolidate them so often. So, because right now I'm doing it every month because of how wide it gets. So that is all I have for y'all today. Please stay tuned for more updates from me, and I am hoping to give y'all a sneak peek at what my sinking funds are going to look like for 2021 and my budget for 2021. I am traveling a lot for the holidays, like I said, so I'm really not sure when I'm going to have time to film that, but I'm hoping to get it out to y'all in December. If I don't, it will be very early January. That is all I have for y'all today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like down below. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. We are getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, and that's really exciting. Leave anything down in the comments below that you want to see from me, and I really hope to see y'all next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye.